The trading station smelled like oil and ozone. Tae-young walked through the crowded marketplace with his hands in his pockets. He was tired. 3 weeks of hauling cargo across space had worn him down. All he wanted was to collect his payment and leave. The station was neutral ground. Humans, aliens, and everything in between did business here. Most people kept to themselves. That was the rule. Don't ask questions. Don't make trouble. Tae-young liked it that way. He stopped at a food stall and ordered something that looked safe to eat. The vendor was a four-armed creature that didn't speak much. That was fine. Tae-young wasn't in the mood for conversation. Then he heard the screaming. His body tensed before his mind caught up. Old instincts from his military days kicked in. He turned toward the sound. Across the marketplace near the loading docks, a group of Rakan mercenaries surrounded something small. Frakan had bad news. They looked like giant insects with armor plating and too many teeth. Most species avoided them. These ones were laughing. That made it worse. Tae-young should have walked away. Smart people didn't get involved. But his feet were already moving. He pushed through the crowd. People stepped back when they saw the mercenaries. Nobody wanted trouble. Through a gap in the circle, Tae-young saw what they were surrounding. A child alien, but still a child. She was small. Maybe 6 years old in human terms. Her skin was pale blue and seemed to glow faintly. Her eyes were too large, too dark. She wore a torn dress and was crying without making sound. Lyrian. Tae-young had seen them before. They were telepaths. Powerful ones. This child was worth a fortune on the black market. One mercenary reached for her. The child pressed herself against the wall. "Hey," Tae-young said. His voice was calm. "Leave her alone." The mercenaries turned. There were 5 of them. They looked at Tae-young like he was an insect. "Walk away, human," the largest one said. Its translator made its voice sound like grinding metal. "Can't do that," Tae-young said. He wasn't a hero. He had learned that heroes died young during the war. But he was a medic first. And medics protected the helpless. It was reflex now. Muscle memory. The mercenary stepped forward. "Your funeral." Tae-young moved first. His fist connected with the creature's throat. The translator box shattered. The mercenary made a choking sound and stumbled back. The other 4 attacked at once. Tae-young ducked under a swing. His elbow found soft flesh between armor plates. He kicked another in the knee joint. The station's artificial gravity was lower than Earth normal. That gave him an advantage. He was faster here, but there were too many. A fist caught his ribs. Pain exploded through his chest. He tasted blood. Another hit knocked him sideways. He rolled with it and came up near the child. She stared at him with those huge dark eyes. Terror radiated from her like heat. "Run," he gasped. She didn't move. Frozen in fear, Tae-young grabbed her hand. It was small and cold. He pulled her toward the side passage. The mercenaries roared behind them. The station was a maze if you knew it. Tae-young had been coming here for years. He knew every shortcut. He dragged the child through maintenance corridors and cargo tunnels. His ribs screamed with every breath. Blood ran down his face from a cut above his eye. Behind them, heavy footsteps echoed. The mercenaries were calling for backup. Station security would be involved soon. But Tae-young knew security was bought and paid for. They wouldn't help. His ship. He needed to reach his ship. The docking bay was 3 levels down. He found a service elevator and shoved the child inside. She was shaking. Still hadn't made a sound. "It's okay," he said. Not sure if she understood. "I'm going to get you somewhere safe." The elevator descended. Tae-young leaned against the wall and tried to breathe. His ribs were definitely cracked. Maybe broken. His shoulder felt wrong. But he had survived worse. The child touched his hand. Her fingers were gentle. Careful. Then everything changed. Images flooded his mind. A beautiful woman with the same blue skin, elegant, powerful. The child's mother, fear, separation, men with guns. An explosion. A bodyguard dying while pushing the child toward an escape pod. Landing on the station, hiding, terror, days of terror. Then new images. Gratitude, hope, and something else. Recognition. Like the child knew him somehow. The elevator stopped. Tae-young shook his head, clearing the visions. Telepathy. Right. He had forgotten about that. "Your mom," he said. "We need to find your mom." The child nodded. She still didn't speak. They ran through the docking bay. Tae-young's ship was an old cargo hauler. Nothing special. But it was fast and the engines were good. He had kept them that way. The loading ramp was still down. Thank God for small favors. Get inside, he told the child. Strap into the co-pilot seat. She scrambled up the ramp. Tae-young followed, hitting the control to close it. He ran to the cockpit. His fingers flew over the controls. Engine startup sequence. Undocking clamps released. Emergency departure protocols engaged. Station traffic control would be screaming at him. He ignored it. The ship lifted. Tae-young guided it out of the bay without clearance. Alarms blared. He punched the throttle. Behind them, 3 ships launched from the station. Vraken vessels. Fighters. Of course they have fighters, Tae-young muttered. The child looked at him. She was strapped into the seat like he told her. Her eyes were wide, but she wasn't crying anymore. Hold on, he said. This is going to get rough. Space opened before them. The asteroid belt was close. That was good. He could use the rocks for cover. The Vraken ships were faster, but he was a better pilot. Had to be. Laser fire streaked past his ship. Too close. Tae-young threw the ship into a hard turn. The child gasped but held on. He dove toward the asteroids. The ship's sensors screamed warnings. Collision alerts everywhere. He ignored them all. His hands were steady on the controls. This was what he had trained for. What he was good at. The Vraken followed. They were good pilots too, but they were aggressive, overconfident. Tae-young led them deeper into the belt. Rocks the size of buildings floated past. He threaded between them like a needle through cloth. The Vraken ship struggled to keep up. One of them got too close to an asteroid. The collision sheared off its wing. It spun away out of control. 2 left, but they were learning, hanging back, waiting for him to make a mistake. Tae-young's ship shuddered, a hit. Shields holding, but not for long. He needed a way out, needed an edge. Then he saw it. The wormhole, unstable, dangerous, the kind of thing sane pilots avoided. The kind of thing that could tear a ship apart or spit it out light years away. Perfect. This is really going to be rough, he told the child. He aimed for the wormhole. The Vraken ships followed. They thought he was running blind, panicking. They were wrong. At the last second, Tae-young killed the engines and spun the ship. He fired thrusters at maximum. The ship slipped sideways through the wormhole entrance. The angle was everything. Too steep and they would be crushed. Too shallow and they would bounce off. He got it right. Just barely. The ship entered the wormhole. Reality bent around them. Colors that shouldn't exist painted the view screen. Time felt wrong, stretched and compressed at once. Then they were through. Normal space. Unknown system. No Vraken ships. Tae-young let out a breath he didn't know he was holding. Then every alarm in the ship started screaming. The FTL drive was destroyed. Hull breaches on 3 decks. Life support failing. They were venting atmosphere. Hold on, he said again. There was a moon below. Maybe habitable. Maybe not. It was their only chance. The ship fell toward it. Not flying anymore. Just falling. Tae-young fought the controls, but they were barely responding. He aimed for what looked like forest. Better than ocean or rock. The child reached out and grabbed his hand. That strange telepathic connection opened again. She was sharing his fear, and somehow making him calmer. Together they fell toward the moon. The impact was hard. Tae-young woke to pain. His entire body felt like one giant bruise. Something was beeping. Ship systems. Still running on emergency power. He opened his eyes. The cockpit was a mess. Sparks flew from a broken console. Smoke filled the air. The view screen was cracked but still showing the outside. Trees. Purple trees. They had landed in a forest. The child. Where was the child? He turned his head too fast. Pain shot through his neck. But he saw her, still strapped in the co-pilot seat. Unconscious but breathing. A small cut on her forehead, but otherwise she looked okay. Tae-young tried to stand. His legs didn't want to work. He forced them to. One hand clutched his ribs. Definitely broken. His left shoulder hung wrong. Dislocated, maybe. Blood covered his flight suit, but he wasn't sure where it was all coming from. He stumbled to the child and checked her pulse. Steady, strong. Relief washed over him. Hey, he said softly. Wake up, she stirred. Those big dark eyes opened. She saw him and immediately grabbed his hand. Images flooded his mind again. Her fear, her pain, but also gratitude, trust. She trusted him completely, a stranger, a human, because he had saved her. The weight of that trust was heavy. "We need to get out," Tae-young said. "Ship's not safe." She nodded. He helped her out of the seat. She could walk. That was good. He grabbed the emergency kit from under his station. Medical supplies, basic tools, a weapon. Not much, but better than nothing. They made their way through the ship. The damage was worse than he thought. The crash had torn through the cargo bay. The engine room was completely destroyed. This ship would never fly again. Outside, the air was breathable. Tae-young's suit sensors confirmed it. Oxygen levels good. Temperature cool but not cold. The purple trees were huge, taller than any building. Their leaves glowed faintly in the fading light. 2 suns were setting on the horizon. This moon had 2 suns. Beautiful but strange. Tae-young found a spot near the ship and sat down hard. The pain in his ribs was getting worse. He opened the medical kit with shaking hands. The child watched him. She looked worried. "I'm okay," he lied. "Just need to patch myself up." He pulled out a scanner, ran it over his ribs. 3 broken. His shoulder was dislocated like he thought. Cuts and bruises everywhere. Internal bleeding. Not great. The child touched his arm. He felt her concern through that telepathic link. "I need you to help me," he said. "Can you do that?" She nodded. He talked her through it. How to clean wounds. How to apply bandages. His hands were too shaky to do it himself. She was gentle, careful. Her small fingers worked slowly but well. "Your name," he said, trying to distract himself from the pain. "What's your name?" She looked at him, opened her mouth, closed it. Then she pressed her hand to his forehead. An image, a word in her language. It sounded like wind through leaves, but the meaning was clear. Hana. Her name was Hana. "Hana," he repeated. "I'm Tae-young," she smiled. First time he had seen her smile. It was small but real. The shoulder was next. He needed to pop it back in. He had done this before during the war, but it always hurt like hell. "This is going to be loud," he warned Hana. He braced himself against a rock, pulled his arm at the right angle. The joint popped back into place with a sound like a gunshot. Tae-young screamed. He couldn't help it. Pain white-hot and terrible. He gasped for air. Hana was crying. Not from fear. From his pain. She felt it through their connection. Her small hands touched his face. And something amazing happened. The pain lessened. Not gone, but manageable. She was doing something. Using her telepathic abilities to help him share the burden. "Thank you," he whispered. They sat there as the sun set. 2 strangers on an alien moon. Survivors. When the pain became bearable, Tae-young stood. He looked at the ship. The emergency beacon was built into the hull. He could salvage it, use it to call for help. But who would answer? The mercenaries knew he had Hana. They would be looking. And station security was corrupt. Calling for help might bring enemies instead of friends. Still, they needed to try. He spent the next hour pulling parts from the ship. The beacon was damaged but repairable. He had tools. He had knowledge. In the military, he had learned to fix things with almost nothing. Hana helped. She couldn't understand the technology, but she handed him tools when he asked. Held parts steady while he worked. Good kid, smart. As he worked, he tried to teach her words, basic things. Wrench, wire, yes, no. She repeated them carefully. Learning fast. Night fell. The forest came alive with sounds, things moving in the darkness. Tae-young built a fire near the ship entrance. Fire kept animals away. Usually. They ate from emergency rations, tasteless protein bars. Hana made a face but ate them. She was hungry. "Your mom," Tae-young said. "Tell me about her." Hana closed her eyes. Put her hand on his. Images came again. A woman. Tall and elegant. Blue skin like Hana but darker. Silver hair that floated as if underwater. Eyes that held galaxies. She wore robes that shimmered. Important robes. Diplomatic robes. She was an ambassador. Tae-young understood that from the images. High-ranking, powerful, meeting with humans and other species. Making peace. Then darker images, an attack. Ships appearing from nowhere. Hana's bodyguard fighting, dying. Pushing Hana into an escape pod. The pod launching. Hana alone and terrified. Landing on the station. hiding for days, scared and hungry. She thinks you're dead, Tae-young said. Your mom? She thinks you died in the attack. Hana nodded. Tears ran down her face. We'll find her, Tae-young promised. I'll get you back to her. He didn't know how. They were stranded on an unknown moon with a broken ship and enemies looking for them. But he would find a way. He had to. They slept in the ship. Tae-young took first watch. His ribs hurt too much to sleep anyway. He sat at the entrance with the weapon across his lap. Watched the forest. Listened. Hana slept curled up on the co-pilot seat. She looked so small. So vulnerable. How had she survived alone on that station? How had she stayed hidden from the mercenaries? She was stronger than she looked. Tae-young thought about his sister, Bora. She had died during the contact wars, caught in a bombing. He had been off-world. Couldn't save her. Couldn't even say goodbye. The guilt never left. It sat in his chest like a stone. Every person he saved since then was an attempt to balance the scales. To make up for the one he couldn't save. Maybe that's why he helped Hana. Why he couldn't walk away. Or maybe he was just tired of running. Dawn came with pink and orange light. The two suns rose together. The forest looked different in daylight. Less threatening. Almost beautiful. Tae-young checked the beacon. It was ready. He could activate it. Send out a signal. Hope someone friendly picked it up before the mercenaries did. What do you think? He asked Hana. She looked at the beacon. Then at him. She put her hand on his, an image. Her mother's face, determined, searching, not giving up. She's looking for you, Tae-young said, understanding. You can feel it, Hana nodded. Then we call, Tae-young decided. We take the risk. He activated the beacon. A simple repeating signal. Their location. A distress call. It would broadcast on multiple frequencies. Someone would hear it. The question was who would arrive first. They waited. One day became 2. Became 3. Tae-young built a better shelter from ship parts. Made it more comfortable. More defensible. He taught Hana more words. She taught him about her people. Through images and broken language they learned each other. Lyrians lived for hundreds of years. They were telepaths from birth. Their society was built on mental connection. Privacy was different for them. Thoughts were shared freely among family. Hana missed that. She was cut off from her people. The telepathic silence was like being blind and deaf at once. Except for Tae-young. Their bond was strange. Not normal even for Lyrians. She could feel his emotions. His pain. His determination. It comforted her. He told her about Earth, about oceans and cities. About his sister. About the war and why he became a hauler. A quiet life after too much violence. She listened. Really listened. Like his words mattered. On the 5th day, Tae-young woke to Hana shaking him. She looked terrified. He grabbed his weapon and ran outside. 3 ships were descending through the clouds. Not rescue ships. Mercenary vessels. Fracka designs. They had found them. Inside, Tae-young ordered. Now. But Hana grabbed his hand. Shook her head. She pointed to the forest. She was right. The ship was a trap. They needed to run. Tae-young grabbed the emergency pack. Threw in supplies, water, food, medical kit, weapon, everything that mattered. Stay close to me, he said. They ran into the purple forest as the ships landed behind them. The hunt had begun. Dalneem stood at the window of her ship. Space stretched endlessly before her, cold and empty, like her heart. 3 weeks since the attack. 3 weeks since her daughter vanished. 3 weeks of searching and finding nothing. The diplomatic meetings continued. She attended them with perfect composure. Spoke the right words. Made the right agreements. No one could see the fracture inside her. Lyrians were experts at hiding emotion. It was necessary when your mind was an open book to your own people. But alone in her quarters, the mask fell away. Her aide, Ji-woo, entered without knocking. Among Lyrians, privacy was different. Doors were courtesy, not barriers. Ambassador, Ji-woo said softly. The human delegation is asking for you. Tell them I will attend shortly, Dalneem replied. Her voice was steady, empty. Ji-woo hesitated. You should rest. You have not slept in 4 days. I do not need rest. I need my daughter. The words came out sharper than intended. Ji-woo bowed and left. Dalneem felt guilty immediately. Ji-woo was only concerned. But concern was not enough. Nothing was enough. She returned to the reports on her desk. Station surveillance, flight records, merchant manifests. She had reviewed them hundreds of times, looking for any sign of Hana. The Galactic Council had assigned investigators. They were thorough, professional, useless. They followed procedures and protocols. They interviewed witnesses and filed reports. They found nothing. Dalnim wanted to scream, but Lyrians did not scream. They maintained control. Always control. Her bodyguard Kyung-soo entered. He moved carefully. His injuries from the attack were still healing. He blamed himself for losing Hana. Dalnim did not blame him. She blamed herself. "Ambassador," he said. "I have something." Dalnim's attention sharpened. "What?" "Surveillance footage. From the trading station. It was buried in the archives. Someone tried to delete it." He pulled up a holographic display. The station marketplace appeared. Grainy but visible. The timestamp was from the day after the attack. Dalnim watched. Crowds moving. Normal station business. Then chaos, a fight. Fracken mercenaries surrounding something. The camera angle shifted. Dalnim's breath caught. A child, small blue skin, Hana and a human, fighting the mercenaries. He moved like a trained soldier, fast and efficient. He grabbed Hana and ran. The footage followed them through corridors. The human was injured but kept moving, protecting Hana with his body. They reached a docking bay. A ship launched without clearance. The footage ended. Dalnim played it again. And again. She memorized every frame. The human's face. His movements. The way Hana held his hand. "Who is he?" she asked. Kyung-soo pulled up another screen. Ship registration. The Seungri. Owner and pilot Lee Tae-young. Former human military. Medical corps. Honorable discharge. Current occupation independent cargo hauler. No criminal record. Dalnim studied the human's file. A simple life. Unremarkable. Why would he risk everything for an alien child? The mercenaries pursued him. Kyung-soo continued. Station records show 3 Fracken fighters launched. There was a chase through the asteroid belt. Then the trail goes cold. Where did they go? Unknown. But there is one anomaly. A wormhole in that sector. Unstable, dangerous. If he went through it, then he could be anywhere. Dalnim finished. Or dead, but she did not say that. Could not say it. She closed her eyes. Reached out with her telepathic sense. She had been doing this every day. Searching for Hana's presence. The bond between mother and child was strong. It should be unbreakable, but there was only silence. Either Hana was too far away or she was gone. Dalnim refused to believe the second option. This human, she said. What kind of person risks his life for a stranger? Kyung-soo considered. Humans are difficult to understand. Their emotions are loud, chaotic, but some of them have a strong protective instinct, especially toward children. Dalnim thought about the war. Humans had been allies during the contact wars. She had fought beside them. They were brutal in combat, but surprisingly gentle with the wounded. Human medics would risk death to save anyone, even enemies. This Tae-young had been a medic. Perhaps that explained it. I want all information on unstable wormholes in that sector, Dalnim ordered. Possible destinations. I want to know where he could have gone. Ambassador, the search area would be enormous, hundreds of systems. Then we search hundreds of systems, Kyung-soo bowed. He knew better than to argue. When Dalnim made a decision, it was absolute. She returned to the window. Somewhere out there, her daughter was alive. She had to be. And this human had her. Dalnim tried to feel grateful. He had saved Hana, risked his life. Most people would have walked away, but gratitude mixed with something darker, jealousy. Hana was with a stranger, a human, not with her mother. She pushed the feeling away. It was unworthy, selfish. The human had done what Dalnim could not. He had protected her child. That created a debt, a life debt. In Lyrian culture, such debts were sacred. They could not be ignored or forgotten. If Tae-young had died protecting Hana, Dalnim would have hunted his killers to the edges of the galaxy. If he lived, she owed him everything. But first, she had to find them. Jiwoo returned. Ambassador, you cannot ignore the human delegation any longer. The peace negotiations require your presence, Dalnim wanted to refuse. The negotiations seemed meaningless now. What did peace between species matter if her daughter was lost? But duty was duty. She was an ambassador. Her personal pain could not interfere with her responsibilities. Too many lives depended on these negotiations. Future generations of Lyrians and humans and dozens of other species. She turned from the window, put on the diplomatic mask, became the perfect ambassador again. "I will attend," she said. The negotiations were difficult. The Kalthari delegation opposed every proposal. Their ambassador, a large reptilian named Vren, argued against the human alliance. "Humans are too violent," Vren said. His scales gleamed under the conference lights. "Too unpredictable. We should not trust them with access to our technology." Dalnim kept her voice neutral. "Humans have proven themselves valuable allies. Their contributions during the contact wars saved millions of lives. Their contributions were acts of violence. What happens when they turn that violence against us?" The human ambassador, an older woman named Maria Santos, spoke calmly. "With respect, Ambassador Vren, we seek partnership, not domination. Our goal is mutual prosperity." The argument continued for hours. Dalnim went through the motions, said the right things, made the right compromises, but her mind was elsewhere. When the meeting finally ended, she returned to her ship immediately. Kyung-soo was waiting with new information. "The wormhole has 17 possible exit points," he said. "I have mapped them all. 3 are inhabitable systems." Dalnim studied the map. So many possibilities. So much empty space. "We should report this to the Galactic Council," Jiwoo suggested. "Let them coordinate the search." "No," Dalnim said. "The Council moves too slowly. By the time they organize search teams, it could be too late." "Then what do you propose?" Dalnim made her decision. "I will go myself. Kyung-soo, Jiwoo, you will come with me. We take a fast ship. We search every system." "Ambassador, you cannot abandon your duties," Jiwoo protested. "The negotiations need you. The negotiations have other ambassadors. My daughter needs her mother." Dalnim's tone left no room for argument. She began gathering supplies. A courier ship, fast and well-armed. Provisions for a long journey. Tracking equipment. She informed the Lyrian Council of her decision. They were not pleased, but they understood. Family came first, always within a day they launched. Dalnim sat in the pilot's chair. She had not piloted a ship in years, but she remembered. During the war, she had been a fighter pilot before becoming a diplomat. The ship jumped to hyperspace. The first system was 12 light-years away. As they traveled, Dalnim researched everything about Lee Tae-young. His military record, his citations, his sister who died in the war, his quiet life afterward. A simple man, a good man, the kind who helped without expecting reward. Humans were strange that way. Lyrians understood duty and honor. But humans had this concept of doing the right thing that did not require any logical reason. They helped because it felt right. Not because it was profitable or honorable or necessary. It was inefficient, illogical, and somehow beautiful. Dalnim wondered what kind of man would sacrifice everything for a child who was not his own. Not even his species. She wanted to meet him, to thank him, to understand him, if he was still alive. The first system was empty. No signs of ships or settlements. They moved to the second, then the third. On the 5th day, Kyung-soo detected something. A faint energy signature, an emergency beacon, old Earth design. "It could be nothing," he cautioned. Many ships use those beacons, but Dalnim felt something. A pull, an instinct. "We investigate." They followed the signal to a small moon orbiting a gas giant. The moon had atmosphere, plant life, possibly habitable. As they entered orbit, the sensors detected wreckage. A ship crashed in a forest. Dalnim's heart raced, a feeling she rarely experienced. Hope. Terrible, dangerous hope. "Land near the crash site," she ordered. But as they descended, the sensors picked up something else. 3 other ships. On the surface. Recently landed. Vraka design. "Mercenaries," Kyung-soo said. "They found it first." Dalnim checked the weapon systems. Fully charged. "Then we remind them why Lyrians do not make good enemies." The ship Tae-young's trap caught the first mercenary 20 minutes into the chase. A simple tripwire connected to a falling log. The heavy wood swung down and crushed the Vrakan's head. 1 down, 11 to go. He had spent 5 days preparing. While Hana slept, he had scouted the forest, mapped escape routes, placed traps. He knew this terrain now. The mercenaries did not. Hana stayed close behind him, silent, trusting. Her small hand gripped his jacket. He could feel her fear through their telepathic bond, but she did not slow him down. Good kid, brave kid. They moved deeper into the forest. The purple trees were dense here. Heavy undergrowth. Difficult terrain. That helped. Vraken were strong but not agile. They struggled with the uneven ground. Tae-young heard them behind, crashing through bushes, calling to each other in their clicking language. They were angry. The death of their companion had made them careless. That was good. The second trap was a pit, covered with branches and leaves. Basic but effective. Another Vraken fell through. Its screams were cut short by the sharpened stakes at the bottom. 2 down, 10 to go. But the others were learning. They moved slower now. Watched for traps. They had combat mechs too, heavy armor suits that made them nearly invincible. Tae-young needed to separate them. Divide and conquer. He led them toward the ravine, a deep cut in the landscape with steep sides and fast water at the bottom. Dangerous. Perfect. At the ravine's edge, he stopped. Let them see him. Hana clutched his hand. Trust me, he whispered. The mercenaries approached. 6 of them now. The others had split up to search. These 6 thought they had him cornered. A human and a child at the edge of a cliff, nowhere to run. They were wrong. Tae-young grabbed Hana and jumped. She gasped but did not scream. They fell 10 feet, 20. He twisted in the air, aimed for the water. It would hurt, but it would not kill them. They hit the surface hard. Cold shocked through his body. The current grabbed them immediately, strong and fast. His broken ribs screamed. His shoulder felt like it was tearing apart. But he held onto Hana, kept her head above water. The river carried them downstream. Fast, the mercenaries fired from above. Laser bolts burned the water around them. But the current was too strong, too unpredictable. They missed. Tae-young fought the river, found a rock, grabbed it, pulled them both to the shore. They crawled out gasping, soaked and freezing but alive. Hana was shaking, from cold or fear or both. Tae-young pulled her close, shared his body heat. You okay? He asked. She nodded, put her hand on his chest. He felt her concern. She was worried about him, about his injuries. The fall had made them worse. I'm fine, he lied. They needed to keep moving. The mercenaries would find a way down. Circle back. He forced himself to stand. His body did not want to cooperate, but he made it move anyway. They followed the river downstream, away from the crash site, away from the mercenaries, into unexplored territory. The forest changed as they went. The trees became taller, darker. Strange sounds echoed around them. Animals. Maybe. Tae-young hoped they were animals. Night was falling. The 2 suns were setting. He needed shelter, a place to rest, to tend his wounds. He could not keep running forever. Hana tugged his hand, pointed, a cave. Small opening in a hillside, hidden by vines. Tae-young checked it carefully. Empty, dry, defensible, perfect. They went inside. He built a small fire at the entrance. The smoke would rise and dissipate through cracks in the rock. Not enough to give away their position, but enough to keep them warm. Hana helped him remove his jacket, his shirt. The bandages were soaked and dirty. The wounds underneath looked bad, infected, red and swollen. This is going to hurt, he told her. She nodded, gathered clean water from the river in a container from his pack. Brought it back carefully. She was learning, adapting. He cleaned the wounds as best he could. Hana watched. When he gasped in pain, she touched his hand, shared the burden, made it bearable. They ate cold rations, drank water. Tae-young checked his weapon, low on charge. Maybe 10 shots left, not enough for a sustained fight. He looked at Hana. She was exhausted, eyes drooping, but she fought to stay awake. Sleep, he said. I'll keep watch. She shook her head, stubborn. She did not want to leave him alone. Tae-young smiled despite everything. I'll be right here, promise. She finally relented. Curled up near the fire. Within minutes, she was asleep. Her small chest rising and falling, peaceful, safe, for now. Tae-young sat at the cave entrance. Watched the darkness. His body ached. His mind was fuzzy. Loss of blood. Infection. He needed proper medical care. But there was none. He thought about the beacon. It was still broadcasting. Someone would hear it. The question was still who would arrive first. Hours passed. The moons rose. This planet had 3 of them. They cast strange triple shadows, beautiful and eerie at once. Then he heard it. Movement in the forest, careful, stealthy, not the mercenaries. They were loud, aggressive. This was something else. Tae-young raised his weapon. Aimed at the darkness, a figure emerged from the trees. Humanoid. Tall. Moving with purpose. Then more figures. 3 total. They wore armor, carried advanced weapons, but not Vrakan design. Something else. The lead figure stopped. Raised empty hands. Universal sign of peace. Lee Tae-young? A voice called. Female. Using a translator. The accent was strange but understandable. Tae-young did not lower his weapon. Who's asking? My name is Dal-nim. I am looking for my daughter. The words hit like a punch. Tae-young's grip on the weapon loosened. Hana's mother. She had found them. She's here, he said. She's safe. The figure moved closer. Into the moonlight. Tae-young saw her clearly for the first time. Blue skin like Hana but darker. Tall and elegant. Silver hair that seemed to float. Eyes that glowed faintly. She wore combat armor but moved like royalty. Power radiated from her. This was the woman from Hana's memories. The ambassador. The mother. Dal-nim saw into the cave, saw Hana sleeping. Her composed expression cracked. Something raw and painful crossed her face. She moved forward. Not waiting for permission, Tae-young stepped aside. Let her pass. Dal-nim knelt beside Hana. Her hand shook as she reached out. Touched her daughter's face, gentle, reverent. Hana stirred. Opened her eyes. Saw her mother. For a moment, neither moved. Then Hana threw herself into Dal-nim's arms. Silent tears ran down both their faces. Tae-young watched. Felt his own eyes burning. This was why he did it. This moment. Mother and child reunited. Worth all the pain. Worth everything. The 2 other figures entered the cave. One was male, Lyrian, heavily armed. The bodyguard, Kyung-soo from Hana's memories. The other was female, older. She carried medical supplies, Ji-woo, the aide. Kyung-soo looked at Tae-young, at his wounds. You need medical attention. I'm fine, Tae-young said automatically. You are not fine. You are dying. The words were matter of fact, not cruel, just honest. Tae-young realized it was true. His vision was blurring. His legs were weak. The infection had spread. He had been running on pure will. Now that Hana was safe, that will was fading. He sat down hard. Yeah, maybe. Ji-woo moved forward with a medical scanner. She ran it over him. Her expression darkened. Broken ribs. Dislocated shoulder. Severe infection. Internal bleeding. You should be unconscious. Been told that before, Tae-young muttered. Dal-nim looked up. Still holding Hana. Can you save him? With proper treatment, yes. But we need to get him to the ship. The mercenaries, Tae-young said. Still out there. At least 10 of them. Maybe more. Kyung-soo checked his weapon. Then we deal with them. Dal-nim stood. Her daughter clung to her, but she gently pulled away. Spoke to Hana in their language. Soft and musical. Hana looked at Tae-young, nodded. Dal-nim approached him. Up close, she was even more imposing. Tall. Beautiful. Dangerous. You saved my daughter's life, she said. You protected her when no one else could. You have earned a debt that can never be repaid. I don't need payment, Tae-young said. Just doing what was right. Dal-nim studied him. Humans are strange. You risk everything for a stranger, for no gain, for no logical reason. Not everything needs a logical reason. She was quiet for a moment. Then you are injured because of my daughter. That makes you my responsibility now. I will protect you as you protected her. I can take care of myself. Clearly, she said dryly, looking at his wounds. Tae-young would have argued, but his vision was darkening. The cave was spinning. He tried to stand, failed. Kyung-soo caught him. Easy, save your strength. The mercenaries, Tae-young insisted. They have combat mechs. Heavy weapons. You can't just— We are Lyrian, Dal-nim said. Her voice was cold. Hard. We do not fear mercenaries. Something in her tone made Tae-young believe it. They carried him out of the cave. Ji-woo stayed close with medical equipment, keeping him stable. Hana held his hand. Her small fingers wrapped around his. Through their bond, he felt her emotions. Fear for him, gratitude, love, she loved him. This child he had known for barely a week. She loved him like family. The weight of that love was heavy, precious, terrifying. They moved through the forest, faster than Tae-young had managed alone. Dalnim led the way. She moved like a ghost. Silent and sure. Kyungsoo covered their rear, combat ready. Then the mercenaries found them. 8 Vraken emerged from the trees. 4 in combat mechs. The others with Tae-young woke to softness. A bed. Real bed. Not dirt or metal. Clean sheets. Warm blankets. For a moment he thought he was dead. Heaven might feel like this. Then the pain hit. Dull but present. His ribs, his shoulder, a dozen other places. He was alive. Definitely alive. He opened his eyes. The room was white. Clean. Medical equipment surrounded the bed. Advanced technology he did not recognize. Lyrian design, probably. Hana was asleep in a chair beside the bed. Her head rested on the mattress near his hand. She had pulled the chair as close as possible. Even in sleep, she stayed near him. Tae-young felt warmth in his chest. This kid. She barely knew him, but she cared so much. He tried to sit up. His body protested but allowed it. Everything hurt, but it was manageable. Whatever they had done to him, it worked. He was healing. The door opened. Dalnim entered. She wore different clothes now. Not combat armor. Elegant robes that shimmered like water. Her silver hair was arranged in some complex style. She looked like art. Like something too beautiful for this world. She saw he was awake. Her expression changed. Relief. Gratitude. Something else he could not name. "You should rest," she said. Her voice was softer than before. Less commanding. "How long?" Tae-young asked. His voice was rough. 3 days. We had to repair significant damage. You nearly died. 3 days. He had been unconscious for 3 days. Hana must have been worried. As if sensing his thoughts, Dalnim looked at her daughter. "She has not left your side. We tried to make her rest in her own quarters. She refused." "She's stubborn," Tae-young said. Smiled, despite himself. "She is. Like her mother." Dalnim moved closer. Studied him. "How do you feel?" "Like I got hit by a ship, but alive. Thank you." "Do not thank me. You saved my daughter. This is the least I can do." She sat in another chair, graceful, composed. But Tae-young saw tension in her shoulders. Something she was holding back. "The mercenaries?" he asked. "Dead or captured. We tracked the remaining ones to their ship. They will not trouble you again." "Good." Tae-young relaxed slightly. At least that threat was gone. Silence stretched between them. Dalnim seemed to be choosing her words carefully. Finally she spoke. "I have researched you. Lee Tae-young, former medic, war veteran. You received commendations for bravery. Saved hundreds of lives during the contact wars." Tae-young was uncomfortable. "That was my job." "Your job ended when you were discharged, yet you continued helping. Became a hauler. A simple life. No glory. No recognition." She paused. "Why did you help my daughter?" "Because she needed help." That is not sufficient explanation. Most beings would not risk their lives for a stranger, especially not an alien child with no connection to them. Tae-young thought about it. How to explain something so simple? Where I come from, we have a saying. You help because it is right, not because it is easy or profitable, just because it is right. Dalnim considered this. Lyrians do not think this way. We help family, we help allies, we follow duty and honor. But to help with no expectation of reward, that is foreign to us. Maybe that is why we are different species. Perhaps. She looked at Hana, still sleeping. She loves you. I can feel it through our telepathic bond. She loves you as she would love family. Tae-young felt his throat tighten. She is a good kid. She is my world. Dalnim's voice was quiet, intense. When I thought I had lost her, something inside me died. You gave her back to me. You gave me back my world. I did what anyone would do. No. You did what a good person would do. There is a difference. Dalnim stood, moved to the window. Outside, Tae-young could see stars. They were on a ship, moving through space. In Lyrian culture, there is the concept of life debt. When someone saves your life, you owe them everything. The debt can never truly be repaid. It binds you forever. Tae-young did not like where this was going. I don't want anything from you. I am just glad Hana is safe. I know. That is why the debt is even greater. She turned to face him. I want you to stay. Come to Lyria Prime. Be Hana's guardian. I will pay you well. Provide quarters, protection, everything you need. I have my own life, my own ship. Well, had my own ship. I have already arranged for a new ship. Better than your old one, faster, well-armed. It is yours regardless of your decision. Tae-young was quiet. This was too much. Too generous. Why? Because Hana needs you. The telepathic bond between you is permanent, rare even among our people. If you leave now, it will hurt her, possibly damage her developing abilities. Guilt twisted in his stomach. I did not know that would happen. Neither did I. It is unprecedented. A Lyrian child bonding so deeply with a human. But it has happened, and now we must deal with it. So I am trapped. If I leave, I hurt her. I do not wish to trap you, but I cannot ignore my daughter's well-being. Dalnim's expression was pained, conflicted. Stay for her sake, just until the bond stabilizes. A few months, perhaps a year. A year. A year of his life serving as a bodyguard or babysitter or whatever this role was. Tae-young looked at Hana, still sleeping peacefully, trusting him completely. How could he say no to that face? Okay, he said, for her, not forever, but for now. Relief washed over Dalnim's features. Thank you. She left then, giving him space to rest, but Tae-young could not sleep. His mind was racing. What had he agreed to? A year on an alien world, living among Lyrians who probably did not trust humans. But when he looked at Hana, the doubt faded. She needed him. That was enough. She woke an hour later, saw him awake. Her face lit up with joy. She climbed onto the bed carefully, hugged him gently, aware of his injuries. Hey kid, he said, hugged her back. Miss me? She nodded, pulled back and touched his face. Images flooded his mind. Her fear when he collapsed, her relief when the doctor said he would live, her determination to stay with him, days of watching him sleep, talking to him even though he could not hear, promising she would protect him like he protected her. Tae-young felt tears in his eyes. I am okay. I promise. She smiled. That beautiful, innocent smile. In that moment, he knew he had made the right choice. Whatever happened next, protecting this child was worth it. The ship arrived at Lyria Prime a week later. Tae-young was well enough to walk by then. Still sore but functional. Hana gave him a tour of the ship, showed him everything with childlike enthusiasm. The ship was incredible, advanced beyond anything humans had built. Smooth design, efficient systems, everything worked perfectly. Kyung-soo checked on him daily. The bodyguard was stiff and formal, but Tae-young sensed respect beneath the surface. A warrior recognizing another warrior. Ji-woo was friendlier. She explained Lyrian customs, what to expect on Lyria Prime, how to behave, what would insult people, what would gain respect. Humans are not well liked by many Lyrians, she admitted. We find your emotions difficult. Your thoughts are loud and chaotic. It makes us uncomfortable. I will try to be quiet, Tae-young said. She smiled. That is not what I meant, but I appreciate the effort. Dalneem was distant during the journey. She attended to diplomatic business, sent reports, prepared for their arrival. But Tae-young caught her watching him sometimes, through doorways, on security monitors, like she was studying him, trying to understand him. It made him uncomfortable. He was not complicated, just a simple man trying to do right. But she looked at him like he was a puzzle to solve. When they entered Lyria Prime's orbit, Tae-young finally saw the planet. Beautiful beyond words, oceans of silver water, continents of crystal forests, cities that looked like they were made of light itself. "It is home," Hana said. She seemed happy but also nervous. Returning home after trauma was never easy. They landed at the diplomatic compound, a massive complex of buildings surrounded by gardens. Everything gleamed, perfect and clean. Tae-young stepped off the ship and felt eyes on him immediately. Lyrians everywhere, staring at the human, some with curiosity, some with suspicion, some with outright hostility. He straightened his back, met their stares calmly. He had faced worse during the war. Hostile looks were nothing. Dalneem led him through the compound. Hana held his hand. Security personnel followed. They reached a building near the center, smaller than the main palace but still luxurious. "Your quarters," Dalneem said. 3 rooms, bedroom, living space, work area, connected to Hana's wing through this door. She showed him everything. The quarters were bigger than his entire old ship. Furniture that adjusted to his preferences. A bathroom with water that felt alive. Windows that looked out over crystal gardens. "This is too much," Tae-young said. "It is appropriate for someone of your status. Guardian to my daughter. Hero who saved her life. You deserve respect." "I deserve a bunk and some decent food. This is palace-level luxury." "Yes," Dalneem said simply. "You live in my palace now. Accept it." Her tone left no room for argument. Tae-young sighed. "Fine, but I do my own cleaning. I do not need servants." "As you wish." She moved to the door connecting to Hana's wing. "My daughter will be next door. If she needs you, she can reach you immediately. If you need anything, ask the staff. They have been instructed to provide whatever you request. What about you? Where are your quarters?" "1 floor above. I am never far." The way she said it made Tae-young's skin prickle, like a promise or a warning. She left. Hana stayed behind. Showed him all her favorite 3 months passed like water through fingers. Tae-young adapted to palace life, learned Lyrian customs, taught Hana about Earth. They spent every day together, playing games, reading stories, training in the practice room. Hana was flourishing. Her nightmares had stopped. Her telepathic abilities were growing stronger. She laughed freely now. No longer the terrified child from the station. Dalneem watched them constantly, not just through security feeds. She joined their lessons, asked questions about Earth history, about human philosophy, about why Tae-young thought the way he did. At first he thought it was motherly concern, making sure he was a good influence on Hana. But it became more than that. She lingered after Hana went to bed, invited him to dinners, asked about his day. She was studying him, learning him. It should have felt invasive. Somehow it felt like something else, something he did not want to name. Other Lyrians remained cold. Palace staff were professional but distant. Security personnel watched him with suspicion. Only Kyung-soo and Ji-woo treated him like a person. "They fear you," Kyung-soo explained during a training session. "Humans are unpredictable, emotional, you make them uncomfortable." "I cannot help being human," Tae-young said. "No, but you can prove yourself worthy of their respect. Show them you are more than just a violent species." Tae-young tried. He was polite, helpful, quiet when appropriate, but the walls remained. Hana did not care. To her, he was family. She introduced him to other Lyrian children as my Tae-young, like he belonged to her. The other children were curious but cautious. They had never met a human before. One day, a delegation from the Kalthari Dominion visited. Ambassador Vren came with armed guards, the same Vren who Dalneem had argued with during peace negotiations. Tae-young was in the garden with Hana when they arrived. She tensed immediately. Fear radiated through their bond. "What is wrong?" he asked. She showed him an image. Vren, speaking with shadowy figures, planning. The attack on her and Dal Nim had been his idea. He wanted to stop the human alliance, wanted Hana captured as leverage. "Are you sure?" Tae-young asked. Hana nodded. "Certain." Tae-young made a decision. He took Hana to Dal Nim immediately. She was in a meeting with council members. He interrupted without permission. "We need to talk now." Dal Nim's expression was cold. "I am in a meeting. This can wait." "No, it cannot." He looked at Hana. "Tell her." Hana touched her mother's hand, shared the memories, the images, the proof. Dal Nim's face went blank, then dangerous. "Leave us," she told the council members. They left quickly, smart people who recognized approaching storm. Vren ordered the attack, Dal Nim said. "Not a question. Understanding. Hana is certain." She saw it, felt it somehow. Lyrian children are sometimes precognitive. They sense truths that adults miss. Dal Nim stood, paced. "But we cannot act on a child's vision alone. We need proof." "What kind of proof?" "Communications, financial records, anything linking Vren to the mercenaries," Tae-young thought. "The station, the surveillance footage. If we can access deeper files, find communication logs between Vren and the Vraken, that would be proof. That would require breaking into classified Galactic Council systems." "Can you do it?" Dal Nim smiled, sharp and cold. "I know someone who can." Within a day, Jiwoo had hacked the systems, found everything. Communications between Vren and mercenary leaders, payment transfers from Kelthari accounts, plans to kidnap Hana, to kill Dal Nim if necessary, all the proof they needed. Dal Nim presented it to the Galactic Council. Vren was arrested. His government disavowed him, claimed he acted alone, but the damage was done. The Kelthari Dominion lost face. Their opposition to the human alliance crumbled. Peace negotiations moved forward rapidly after that. Alliances formed, trade agreements signed. The galaxy became a little safer. Tae-young had helped, not with weapons or violence, just by protecting a child and listening to her fears. Strange how small actions created large changes. But that night after Hana was asleep, Dal Nim came to his quarters. She looked different, vulnerable. The diplomatic mask was gone. "Thank you," she said. "You believed my daughter when others would have dismissed her. You acted without hesitation." She was right. That made it easy. "Still," Dal Nim moved closer, "you continue to surprise me. Every day I learned something new about humans. About you." Tae-young was uncomfortable. She was standing very close. He could smell something like flowers and starlight. Her eyes were intense, studying him. "I am not that interesting," he said. "You are wrong. You are fascinating." She reached out, touched his face. Her hand was cool, gentle. "You confuse me. Your emotions are so loud, so chaotic, but also beautiful, pure. You feel everything so deeply." "Dal Nim, I have been watching you, learning you, trying to understand why you saved my daughter, why you stayed, why you are so selfless." "I'm not selfless. I just do what feels right." "That is what makes you selfless." Her thumb brushed his cheek. "I have never met anyone like you." Tae-young's heart was racing. This was dangerous territory. She was his employer, Hana's mother, an ambassador. He was just a hauler, a nobody. But the way she looked at him, like he was something precious, something worth understanding. He stepped back, put distance between them. "You should go. This is not appropriate." Pain flashed across her face. Then the mask returned. "You are right. Forgive me. I have overstepped." She left quickly. Tae-young stood alone in his quarters, heart pounding, confused. What was happening? Was she attracted to him? That seemed impossible. She was Lyrian royalty. He was human. Different species, different worlds. But those eyes, the way she looked at him. He pushed the thoughts away, focused on sleep. Tomorrow would be normal. This was just a strange moment. Nothing more. He was wrong. Over the next weeks, Dal Nim became more present, more involved. She joined every lesson with Hana, sat close during dinners, found excuses to speak with him privately. She asked about his past, his feelings, his dreams. What made him happy? What made him sad? She wanted to know everything. Tae-young tried to maintain distance, be professional. But she was persistent. And if he was honest, he enjoyed their conversations. She was brilliant, insightful. They debated philosophy and politics and the nature of consciousness. She challenged him, made him think. He started looking forward to their evenings together. The way she smiled when he said something interesting. The way her eyes lit up when debating. The way she listened like his words mattered. One night, after putting Hana to bed, they sat in the garden. The crystal plants sang softly around them. 3 moons hung in the sky. I need to tell you something, Dalnim said. But I do not know if I should. Tell me, Tae-young said. She was quiet for a long time. Then I am lonely. I have been lonely for years. Since my husband died, I am surrounded by people, but I am alone. Do you understand? Yes, I understand that. You are the first person in years who has made me feel less alone. You and your strange human emotions, your simple way of seeing the world, your kindness, and she looked at him. I think I am developing feelings for you. Romantic feelings. It is inappropriate. I know this, but I cannot help it. Tae-young's breath caught. She had said it out loud. What he had suspected but hoped was wrong. Dalnim, I'm flattered. But this cannot happen. I work for you. I care for your daughter. It would complicate everything. I know. That is why I have tried to fight it. But the feelings grow stronger. She reached for his hand. He let her take it. Tell me you feel nothing. Tell me I am alone in this. I will accept it and never speak of it again. He should lie, should push her away. Keep things simple, safe, but he could not. I cannot tell you that, he admitted. Because it would be a lie. Hope flared in her eyes. Then you feel it too? I do not know what I feel. You are beautiful and brilliant. But you are also my employer, Hana's mother. This is complicated. Life is complicated. We can navigate it together, can we? What happens when I want to leave? When my time here is done? What then? Dalnim's expression hardened. You cannot leave, not yet. The bond with Hana is not stable. It has been 3 months. How much longer? I do not know. Maybe a year. Maybe more. Maybe more? You said it would be temporary. I said I thought it would be temporary. I was wrong. The bond is deeper than I realized. Tae-young pulled his hand away. So I am trapped here, indefinitely. You are not trapped. You are needed. By my daughter. By me. That sounds like the same thing. It is not. You chose to stay. You can choose to leave. But it will hurt Hana, possibly permanently. Guilt and anger twisted together in his chest. So you are using my feelings for Hana to keep me here? No. I am being honest about the consequences of your actions. Actions I took to save her life. Yes, and I am grateful. But gratitude does not change reality. Tae-young stood. I need to think. He left the garden, went to his quarters, locked the door, sat on his bed with his head in his hands. What had he done? He had meant to help, to save a child. Now he was caught in something far more complicated. The next morning, Tae-young made a decision. He needed space, distance. He told Hana he needed to visit the human embassy, check on paperwork for his new ship, a lie but a necessary one. She was disappointed but understood. Come back soon, she said. I will. I promise. He left the palace. Took a 1 year later. Tae-young stood in the palace garden watching Hana practice with her telepathic abilities. She was stronger now, more confident. She could move small objects with her mind, could sense emotions from across rooms. Her teacher said she would be powerful when she grew up. Kyung-soo sparred with her, teaching her to focus her abilities in combat situations. Not that she would ever need to fight. But Lyrians believed in preparation. Good, Kyung-soo said. Now try to sense my next move before I make it. Hana concentrated. Her face scrunched up adorably. Then she dodged left just as Kyung-soo swept right. Perfect timing. Excellent, he praised. You are learning. Hana beamed. Looked to Tae-young for approval. He gave her a thumbs up. She had learned that gesture from him. Now she used it constantly. Dalnim emerged from the palace. She wore casual clothes now when they were alone. No more formal robes, just simple, comfortable things. She smiled when she saw them. How is training? She asked. She is progressing well, Kyung-soo reported. Another year and she will be ready for advanced techniques. That is good news. Dalnim moved to Taeyong's side, slipped her hand into his. Natural, easy. They had been together for months now. The palace staff had stopped whispering about it. Mostly. Some Lyrians still disapproved. A human with their ambassador? Scandalous. But Dalnim did not care. She was happy. That was what mattered. I have news, she said. The Galactic Council has officially recognized the Human Alliance. Full membership. Trade rights. Everything we worked for. That is amazing, Taeyong said. You did it. We did it. Your actions started this, saving Hana, exposing Vren, proving that humans are worthy partners. I just helped a kid. You did the real work. She squeezed his hand. You are too modest. As always. Hana finished training and ran over, sweaty and happy. Can we have Earth food for dinner? Please. Dalnim pretended to consider. What kind of Earth food? Pizza. Taeyong promised to teach the kitchen staff how to make pizza. Pizza it is, Dalnim agreed. But you must clean up first. Hana groaned but obeyed. She ran inside. Kyungsu bowed and followed. Giving them privacy, Taeyong and Dalnim walked through the garden. The crystal plants sang around them, a peaceful sound, like wind chimes. I have been thinking, Dalnim said, about the future. About us, and what about us? In Lyrian culture, when two people commit to each other, there is a ceremony, a bonding. It is similar to human marriage, but deeper. It involves telepathic connection, sharing of minds. Taeyong's heart raced. Are you asking what I think you are asking? I am asking if you would bond with me, officially, make our relationship permanent. I am not telepathic. How would that work? There are ways. Ancient rituals. It would not be the same as bonding between two Lyrians, but it would be real. Binding. Taeyong stopped walking, turned to face her. You want to marry me? Yes, if you will have me. He looked at this incredible woman. She had let him into her life. Her heart. Her family. She trusted him with her daughter. Her future. How could he say anything but yes? I will have you, he said. Now and always, she smiled. That brilliant, beautiful smile that still made his breath catch. Then she kissed him. The crystal plants seemed to sing louder, celebrating with them. The bonding ceremony was held a month later. Small, private, just close friends and family. Kyungsu stood as witness. Jiwoo organized everything. Hana was flower girl. She took the job very seriously. Human Ambassador Park attended. He seemed pleased. This is good for human-Lyrian relations, he joked. First interspecies marriage between our peoples. We are not the first, Dalnim corrected. But we may be the most public. The ceremony itself was beautiful. Lyrian traditions mixed with human customs. They exchanged vows, promised to love and protect each other, to build a life together. Then came the telepathic ritual. A Lyrian elder guided them. Dalnim opened her mind. Taeyong did his best to do the same. It felt strange, vulnerable, like standing naked in front of the universe. But then he felt her, really felt her. Her love, her hope, her fears, her dreams, everything she was poured into him. And he poured himself back, his memories, his emotions, his absolute commitment to her and Hana. When it ended, they were changed, connected, not fully telepathic, but aware of each other in ways they had not been before. He could feel her presence always, like a warm light in the back of his mind. She could sense his emotions, his well-being. We are one now, she whispered. Two minds, one heart, one family, he added. The celebration afterward was joyful. Music and dancing. Food from both Earth and Lyria. Hana laughed and played. For the first time since the attack, she was completely carefree, safe, happy. Taeyong watched his family, his wife, his daughter, not by blood, but by choice, by love. Kyungsu approached with a drink. You have done well, Taeyong. I doubted you at first, but you have proven yourself worthy. Thank you. That means a lot coming from you. Dalnim is happy. Hana is thriving. That is what matters. Kyungsu paused. You know, when you first arrived, I thought you were just another human. Loud, chaotic, temporary. What changed your mind? You did. You showed me that humans have something we Lyrians lack. Heart. Raw, unfiltered emotion. It makes you vulnerable, but also strong. You love without reservation, fight without hesitation. That is admirable. We are not so different. Lyrians and humans, we both want the same things: safety, family, peace. Perhaps you are right. Kyung-soo raised his glass. To the future. May it be bright. They drank together, two warriors from different worlds, united by common purpose. As the celebration wound down, Tae-young found himself alone with Dalnim on a balcony. The 3 moons were full. The city below glowed with soft light. Are you happy? Dalnim asked. More than I ever thought possible, Tae-young said honestly. A year ago I was alone, hauling cargo. No family, no purpose. Now I have everything. I feel the same. I was drowning in duty and loneliness. You saved me, just as you saved Hana. We saved each other. She leaned against him. He wrapped his arms around her. They stood in comfortable silence. 2 people who had found home in each other. Do you ever regret it? Dalnim asked. Saving Hana that day? Everything that came after? Never, not once. You 2 are the best thing that ever happened to me. Even when I trapped you? When I could not let you go? You gave me a reason to stay. That is not a trap. That is a gift. She turned in his arms, looked up at him. I love you, more than I can express in words, more than telepathy can convey. You are my heart, and you are mine. They kissed under the 3 moons, a human and a Lyrian, 2 souls bound together by love and choice and fate. Inside, Hana was already asleep. Exhausted from the celebration, Jiwoo had put her to bed. She would wake tomorrow to a new life, a complete family, a mother and a father who loved her, who would protect her, who would never leave her. The years that followed were good. Tae-young adapted fully to palace life. He became an unofficial ambassador, helping humans navigate Lyrian culture, teaching Lyrians about human ways, building bridges between species. Hana grew strong and wise. Her telepathic powers became legendary, but she never forgot the scared little girl who had been saved by a strange human. She worked to help others, to protect those who could not protect themselves. Dalnim continued her diplomatic work, but now she had balance, a partner who understood her, who supported her, who made her laugh when the weight of duty became too heavy. And Tae-young found something he had been searching for his entire life: purpose, family, home, not on Earth, not in space, but here, with these 2 incredible beings who had chosen him just as he had chosen them. Sometimes late at night he thought about that day on the station, the screaming child, the choice he made. If he had walked away, his life would be completely different, empty, alone. But he had not walked away. He had stepped forward, risked everything, and gained everything in return. That was the human way, he supposed. Acting without thinking, leading with the heart instead of the head, illogical, inefficient. But sometimes, just sometimes, it led to something beautiful. He fell asleep each night with Dalnim in his arms. Hana safe in the next room. The telepathic bond humming quietly, connecting them all. 3 hearts, 1 family, 1 love. And in the morning they would wake and do it all again. Teaching, learning, growing, together. That was enough, more than enough. That was everything.